Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Cikgu Roni and welcome to the science class for this week. Before we start our lesson, let's us recite doa. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma warzuqni fahma. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay, for today's lesson objective we shall identify the main parts of the nervous system and describe the main function of the nervous system. And how would we do it is by talking about main parts of the nervous system, and we shall talk a little of the function of the nervous system. But before that, we shall recap previous lesson about the breathing system. We start with air. Air is a mixture of gases. It contains oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. So we learn about four types of gases in the air. One more time: oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. And the breathing system, the primary function of the breathing system is to supply our blood with oxygen. So the only function is to supply our blood with oxygen. Okay, next, there are four parts of the breathing system that we need to learn in year 4 actually: nose, mouth, windpipe, and lungs. Okay, in the lungs, the oxygen is passed to our blood vessels and transport to all parts of our body. We have talked about this last week. Our body uses the oxygen to produce energy from food. When the energy is produced, another gas, carbon dioxide, is also produced, and this unwanted gas is passed to the blood and moves back to our lungs. As in, you can see here, carbon dioxide and water vapor are removed from our body when we breathe out. Now, this is only for your basic general knowledge. An experiment done by another people around the world, just to prove that you breathe in oxygen 21%, and when you breathe out, only 16% left of the oxygen. But the carbon dioxide, when we breathe in, 0.04%, only a little, but when we breathe out, our breathing, the air that we breathe out consists of 4% of carbon dioxide, which is more. Okay, now we shall continue to our next lesson, that is the nervous system. Our nervous system is the control center of our body. The nervous system controls everything you do, including breathing, walking, thinking, and feeling, and so on. Our nervous system is made of our brain, our spinal cord, and nerves. So nervous system is very important for us. It it's very important to function properly because it controls everything. Your brain controls everything. Example, your breathing system. So your brain would control your breathing system. If your brain cannot function properly, the other parts of our body cannot function properly. So here parts, there are three parts in the nervous system. That is the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. There are more specialized name for that, but for this time we only learn as brain, spinal cord, and nerves. And you can see here, this is an example of our brain. I can show you the real picture, but no need. If you want, you can find it in Google. So brain is very important. The next part of our nervous system is spinal cord. So spinal cord is inside our backbone. If you can see in this picture, it's inside our backbone. Then it goes out from the backbone to other parts of your body. Only the backbone, inside of the backbone, have spinal cord. Other parts of the bone, your hand bone, no spinal cord, only your backbone. Okay, now, and then from the spinal cord it will move out to other parts like your hands or your legs or any parts of your body, your face, etc. And the next one is your nerves. This is the picture of a close up of the nerves. And from what I read, they say nerves, they are messages. We can use our sense organ, and this is where our body relay messages. It send message to the brain through this nervous system. It's like in the internet, what I see is like they say it's like electrical system. It pass messages from our sense organ or any parts of our body. Okay, example, take a look here. All of our sense organs are connected to our brain by a series of nerves. So every part of our sense organ, we have then a few sense organs like our eyes to see, our nose to smell, our ears to listen or to hear, our tongue to taste, and our skin to feel things, hot, cold, rough, smooth, and everything. So that are our sense organ, and these sense organs are connected to our brain by nerves. When we use our sense organs, the nerves pass the message to our brain. Okay, let's take a look. How does it mean? Example here. When we are watching TV, in here, this picture, when we are watching TV, nerves messages travel from our eyes to our brain. So when the TV is on, so we are watching with our eyes, and the picture from here, when we watch it, and there's messages from our eyes will travel to our brain, and our brain will interpret the messages as pictures you see on the TV screen. So our brain translate the picture to something that we know. If now we are talking about eyes only. So we when see something, so our brain will translate the messages from the eyes into something that we understand or we know, like color example. Red color, I can see red example. I can see yellow, or maybe or big or small, so it translate. Or maybe I can see cars, so in the brain it translate, in your eyes you see and translate it in your brain. It's the same thing with other parts of your sense organ. Example would be this: nerves messages travel from our hand to our brain. If you can see this picture, there's a fire here, um, stove, fire from the stove. And what happened here, when the person's hand is close to the fire, he will feel the heat. It'll be hot, but then it doesn't work. um, uh, the hand is not automatic, but it's controlled by the brain. What I mean, which means that when you are touching hot object and you will feel hot, of course you will feel hot, but actually the nerves, the sense organ will send message to your brain from your hand, and then your brain will translate the message as hot or dangerous, and the brain will send back another message, so you pull your hands like that. So it's more like a very fast text messaging. Something happened in your hand when you touch something. If you feel it's hot, it actually sends message to your brain, and your brain translates it as hot or dangerous, and you will pull your hand from the dangerous object because your brain told your hands to do so. So that's basically that's how the nervous system function. it sends messages. If you watch something, it sends messages from your eyes and your brain translate. If you touch something, it sends messages from your hands to the brain and it translates something and send back to your hands. If you taste something, it will translate the taste. It will send message when you eat something. So messages will go from your tongue to your brain, and then it translates as delicious or hot or spicy, and then it will go back to your mouth or your body. If it's delicious, then you will say delicious. If it's hot, you will say ah. That's actually messages from the brain. Actually, it translates what you feel or what you do. Okay, if you don't understand, you can talk with me on Saturday. I have an online lesson. Um, uh, so you can, for kids, you can write your question and send to me or ask me on our Saturday online lesson this coming week. So worksheet are provided through Microsoft Form. I'm using Microsoft Form. I'm learning, so I try both forms. And lesson notes also given. And then let's recap today's lesson. Our nervous system is made up of our brain, spinal cord, and nerves. The main function of our nervous system is to control everything that our body do, such as breathing, walking, thinking, and feeling. So the brain controls. Our brain translates or interpret messages from our sense organ. So these are the three things that you have learned today. So until next week, you can like, subscribe, or share this video. It's up to you. But then thank you for watching. Until next week, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.